Thank you so much for joining us today. We are preparing for Christmas, and I believe you are also preparing for Christmas. It's a wonderful season, and we all love to share love in this festive season. It's been a while, I know, having a new baby and trying to adjust again is a bit difficult. But hey, I am back for good. Yes, and today I have an exciting topic to treat with you. Hey, if you're new on this channel, my name has always been Miss Millie. We say a warm welcome to you for joining this family. This family is all about making motherhood joyous. Trust me, we look at the pregnancy journey, we are your friend throughout the motherhood journey, and we also look at the financial aspect of our journey. Yes, from how we can get a side hustle to do, from how we can get some pennies running through once we have our newborn baby, and to have a peace of mind, and of course how to stabilize a job, a side hustle, so we do not rush to return back to work. Yes, so if you are here, you are at the right spot. Join this lovely family and you have a friend for life. If you're already a family member, thank you for joining us for today. I miss you so much. Today we're going to look at a related topic as to rivalry. Not rivalry as in girl to girl, rivalry as between the two newborn babies. Yes, this is something that most of us are experiencing at the moment, and sometimes there's frustration. So I was like, why not discuss it so we could help control that stress? And if you've not gotten there yet, it's a knowledge for you to tap in, so that when you get there, you will know the things that are normal and the things that you need to do. So if you're all for it, stay tuned and let's begin. All right, so welcome back. We're looking at the developmental differences between our two kids. Okay, so we're going to look at their physical development, their emotional development, social development, emotional development, how they are developing, and the differences between those two girls or those two boys or those two, a boy and a girl like myself. And then we will look at how to support them and how to get rid of stress as much as possible. Yes, everyone is different, of course, and we are all unique in our own special way. Even if it's two boys you have, their gender might be the same, but of course we are all different. They are different in their own unique way, and you can testify from the way they were being delivered or born. Everybody's labor was different. Like for myself, my firstborn's labor was like hard. It was hard. I went through all the 3 different stages of labor, like all the different types that you can imagine, the C-section, the normal labor, everything. But with the second, it wasn't really like that. So of course, these are all signs to let us know that we are all different in our own unique way. So do not compare the two of them. That's one no thing. Do not compare the two kids. They will all develop in their own pace, and it's acceptable because at the end of the day, they are all getting to the same goal. Whether this person worked at 1 month old, which is not possible, and this person worked 1 year old, at the end of the day, they are all working. So let's put that at the back of our mind as mothers, because sometimes we tend to stress ourselves too much than necessary. If you see me looking at side and side, it is just I want to be able to cover everything that I have in store for you today. I do not want to eliminate any of the Jews. Okay, so I would say I'm going to look at my boy and my girl in terms of different stages, and I'm going to go through that with you. Okay, so the first one that I want to look out for is their language. My first, which is the boy, was slow to develop language. Why? Because I think from analysis and reflections, I rather enjoy cuddling him. I rather enjoy looking online to get beautiful clothes every time for him, how I'm going to dress him. I was concentrating on how to be that great mother to him. instead of like enjoying him and having a talk with him and treating him like he's that new friend in the house, no, I'd rather be zipped, looking at the phone, busy selecting clothes for him. Like how he's going to look every day when somebody's coming around. And I think that impeded his slowness to develop the language. Okay, whereas comparing to the girl, because the boy is already there and he tends to interact with her, she was developing the language very, very fast. Okay, so with the boy, for about over 18 months, he hadn't really fully picked up the language. Even as of now, he speaks, but he's not really, sometimes he speaks his own language. Like, I think sometimes they have their own different world, and he speaks his own world language mixed with what he knows. So he's still on the round and developing it, but comparing it to the lady who had him to talk with, who had me to always say, oh, that's your sister, because you know when they come they have that rivalry, so you always want the early one to understand that, oh, he's your sister, he's not taking over your position, he's here to stay. And you trying to deal with those tantrums makes you speak with them frequently. And as the boy is also trying to understand her sister and trying to relate with the sister, they end up talking a lot, and that made the baby girl language develop very fast. Because as at 9 months, she was just all over the place. Like, she calls me mama, she calls daddy, even as at 7 months, you know. But the early one couldn't even say mama when he was about 18 months to like to 2 years. Do you understand? So that is advantages that these early kids help the second or the other babies develop. So hence, because they had different environment and different experience, their stage of development was going to be different. Hence, we should encourage talking. So if you're a new mom and you're watching, it's important that aside enjoying how your first baby, aside enjoying how you want him to look and being busy being that perfect mother, try as much as possible to talk to your baby as much as you can. It helps with their speech development. That was a mistake I did, hence sharing with you so you can avoid that. Second thing that I want to prompt you on is movement. The boy or the first baby was very, very fast. Why? Because all that he knew, or all the first baby know, is mommy and daddy. So mommy is rushing to be a perfect mother, going to the kitchen to warm the food for him, trying to clean the sterilizer, trying to bath him. You're moving everywhere. And because he's become so bonded with you, wherever you go, he also tries to go with you. You get what I mean? So when they start crawling, wherever you go, they follow you. And that makes movement. It's like you introduce movement unconsciously without you knowing that you're training him to move as frequent as possible, and that can help his gross motor skills to be well developed. So if you're doing that out there, hey, shout out to you. You're doing a good job, and I need you to comment below what you are doing frequently to bring your baby to be moving every time. Yeah, so with the firstborn, as I was saying, he was moving a lot because mommy was a role model, mommy was a friend. He wanted to be anywhere that mommy goes, and that made him walk very fast. My firstborn walked when he was exactly 10 months. Yes, and he's a boy. And from what I heard from those tales, I never thought he was going to work at that time, but he worked exactly 10 months, and that was it. Comparing it to the girl has some speed because he always wants to follow wherever his brother goes and all that. But that same brother who is developing the girl to have the speed is the same person some way, somehow preventing her from walking early. Why? Because sometimes this girl hold on to something and wants to and stands. And because maybe his brother is a bit angry with her, he would just push his hands off the thing that he's holding on to. And then she fails. And frankly speaking, from that experience, it's instilled some kind of fear into her. So it got to a time when she have the idea to like hold on to something and then just get up, and then I think she just remembers and then she goes down fast. And you could see that that is instilling or impeding his progress of walking faster. So that is the negative side of it. But the positive side of it is the boy is helping him with the movements and everything and making him feel like, yeah, this is the next stage, I'm walking, so you can be like me, you know, that kind of thing. So as a mother, what we can do at this time is to be careful and really monitor them when they are playing, so that when the baby, the elderly one or the baby boy wants to push the little one off by instilling that fear, you can just control it. No, that's not right. Allow her to stand by you so you can all have the same height, isn't it? So using these reinforcement communication could make the early one understand that it's wrong to do that, and of course that can also help the younger one to be able to develop faster. So as at now, she's almost 11 months now. She's not walk at the moment, yet she stands. So comparing the two, he worked at 10 months, she is almost a year old and hasn't still worked. So that is it to us. It is our duty to be able to monitor the situation and help. And that is why I said from the beginning, everybody is different. You realize that? This one developed language faster than this one, but this one worked faster than the other. Hence, the reason why we shouldn't compare. Right, so moving to the next point, I would say there is always friction, struggle, and acceptance. That friction is horrific. It is not a good experience at all. Like, you know, that struggle of they feeling like I'm being overthrown, the other one also feeling like I want the attention, he trying to imitate his younger sister or brother to get the attention. You get what I mean? At the moment, yeah, my firstborn literally cries like the baby just to get attention. Seriously. You know, when you come from work and you just sit down, she knows you're going to pick the baby up first and be like, oh, it's a lot. So immediately she sees you walking towards the chair. He follows slowly, and once you sit, he just jump on you before you even stretch your hands to pick baby up. And then another thing that he's doing at the moment is, once, like yesterday for example, baby was just crawling and he stumbled and fell and started crying. So I rushed to pick her, and as I rushed to pick her up, we just saw the early one being crying the same way. Yeah. And he also like intentionally felt wanting his daddy to pick him up. So you see, that friction of fighting against or fighting over that attention from mommy, fighting over the attention from daddy, brings a lot of stress to us as mothers. And it's not easy. Sometimes if you're not able to control and have a breathing, if you're not able to know that it's normal, it's a stage and it will pass, you might overreact. Hence this video. So if you're going through that same thing, know that it's normal. We are all going through that same stage. And as they had a stage where they couldn't even talk, and now they had a stage where they could start saying mama, and now they have a stage where they could say a letter word, and now they got to a stage where they could say 2-letter word. That's the same way this stage is going to pass. So when you're doing it, know it's normal. You're not the only one going through that. You're not the only one who have experienced that, and this too shall pass, as my mom always say. Yes. And then I would share a measure with you that when those things are going on, just reinforce to let the elder one know that it's wrong to do that. You don't need to cry. You don't need to fake it. Mommy loves you too. Give him a hug because it's the attention he wants. Just give him that little attention and then you go back to baby. Do you get what? But if you totally ignore him, he will continue to imitate what baby does in order to get the attention. But when you give him a bit of it, or you explain to him why you were picking up baby and why what he did was wrong, he will learn from it. And then within few days, this will be under control. Yeah. It is a stage we have to go through, and that is what this channel is for. We share our experience. If you are home at the moment and you're experiencing what we are discussing, comment it below. Share those interesting moments with us. Like, what my son did yesterday was just so hilarious. Like, we were just laughing. So share your hilarious moments with us. Let us know what your early one is imitating from the baby and those tension moments. And let's enjoy this stage together. The next point that I would want to emphasize on is their food. So the food, their craving or their love for food is different. With the first one, he was on milk for a long time. And it's because that is what he was known to. Okay, there was nobody there to look up to, so he was on the milk for a very long time, and that is the reason why I even had to quit lecturing at that time. Yes, but with the second baby, she didn't want the milk so much as at 8 months, because he sees his brother always eating the winning foods, the blended foods, the fingertips foods, and that is something that craved him to go for that. So sometimes when you're about to feed her and then he watches his brother eating maybe in cup potatoes or maybe chips or like carrots, she would rather want to stretch over to pick his brother's food, and then he rejects the milk that you're trying to feed her. So I would say that stimulated her to develop the appetite to eat proper food. Like, if I say proper food, you understand what I mean? So proper food instead of being on the milk for a long time. But of course, the firstborn didn't have that role model. They didn't have that person who would make it attractive to him. And therefore, hence the difference between when they started eating proper food. Because for us now, this 11 months baby eats everything. Like, everything, including my local foods. She eats everything and she enjoys it much. So now the milk is just like a top up for her anytime, and it's important for you to insist at least 1 or 2 feeding a bottle full within the day, because of the nutritious value that they need. Okay, so that they can develop well, work on time, have their bones develop to the right stage that is needed. So this has been the difference in terms of all the points that we have discussed, and I just want you to know that it's normal. Don't get stressed about it. Don't compare them. They are all unique in their own way. Try to bond with each of them. Well, give them the attention. Let her know that yes, you're still the boss, but you have a princess here now, and together we had a royal family. Creating that atmosphere alone will help you all. Also, try and understand that it's okay to copy. It's okay for them to imitate each other because they are in their own world. But when there is a copying of a wrong thing, it's your duty as a mom to reinforce, to let them know that, hey, this is not right for you to do. She is doing that because she's a baby and she wants to be like you. So you do that right thing. For you being a reinforcer, that is how great these kids are going to develop perfectly. There are other bad things that they might introduce, and you have to always try to supervise them as much as possible, because once you supervise them, you avoid a lot of risks, like them being hurt, the fighting at all times, and rivalry will be erased. And instead, because you are reinforcing the good things in them and letting them know the right things to do, you are going to introduce love, which is going to be everlasting. Motherhood is not easy, we all know, and that is why we joined this family, so we could share together to make sure we can be on the right path and make motherhood joyous. Thank you for joining me again for today. I know you can relate to this a lot. Please comment down. Let's know those tantrums that they're throwing against each other, how you are handling it. Let's help each other to make motherhood joyous. And don't forget to share. Share to others. Some people are very, very lonely in their journey, because we have our single mothers out there. We have others who have no clue about what we go through, and they might think they are not being that perfect mother. That is why those things are happening. So you sharing the video, let them know that it's normal and it's okay to ask for help. It's been amazing being with you, and always amazing to be with you. Thank you for watching. It's been always been your lady, Miss Millie. Like, when I'm leaving, I tend not to love it, you know, that's what I'm stumbling. Okay, so it's been your lady, Miss Millie. I'll see you in my next video.